Fit for Life Radio, episode number 175. Gary here.
And Will.
And today we're talking peanut butter.
We're talking about my favorite topic, if you know me personally.
Peanut butter and all its glory and probably heartbreak.
Yeah. We're gonna go in on peanut butter.
So I guess if we frame it a little better, it could be, is peanut butter holding you back from your fat loss goals?
Maybe.
You could kind of frame it like that, because ultimately, first thing, you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah, and lose weight if that's your goal.
But ultimately, everyone has a gas tank, right? We can't eat unlimited amounts, so we know it's about picking and choosing. So when we're picking on peanut butter in this episode, it's really just because if you kind of ad lib your peanut butter consumption, it can be a roadblock.
It's just easy to get out of hand.
That we've seen for many. And then part of it is if you also ad lib your fitness and nutrition information consumption, peanut butter seems it gets good press.
Yeah,
right?
like everyone's like, oh my God, peanut butter is great. It's a great source of this. It's a great source of that.
It's healthy fats and it's high in protein, right? I mean, that right there off the cuff.
That's like the most common one is like, oh, peanut butter is a great source of protein. Where if we actually look at peanut butter, it's like, and we've gone over this on another episode, what we would consider a good source of protein is something that generally has like double the protein that it does like fat.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like bare minimum. And then a little less on the fat if you can find it.
Yeah. So, for example, for every 20 grams of protein a food provides, it should provide 10 grams or less of fat.
Yep.
And that's just to even kind of be like moderately lean.
Yeah, and then, really something a little better. Like if you think chicken breast is what, 2-3 grams of fat normally?
Yeah, 3 grams of fat.
3 grams of fat.
24 grams of protein.
So that would be like a really lean protein source, or like protein powder that's 25 grams of protein and, 0 or 1 grams of fat. So anyways, that's usually a good source in our eyes.
Yeah. And the reality is trying to get protein from peanut butter is like trying to get protein from rice or something.
Yeah, there's so much more baggage that comes with the protein that you're getting that it's almost not even worth it.
Like, so let's set the example of, so what happens is, people are like, oh, this is a good food, and this is the problem with that we mentioned, labeling foods good and bad, right? It's all relative and depends, and yes, peanut butter can be a good food.
And it can have some good nutrition in it, like it's not like that's not a thing.
But realize, peanut butter is highly processed, especially if you're getting the regular stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for one, let's break it down. Where does the peanut start? It's a peanut in a shell.
Yep.
So you have to harvest, you have to grow, find, harvest peanuts, then take it out of its shell, and then...
And it has to be roasted.
Roast it, yeah. Then take it out of its shell and eat it, right? So the fact that then it's in a jar, it comes in this jar already roasted, shelled, blended up.
They add some salt.
They add salt. They add extra little oil to it.
Sometimes a little bit of sugar because that, fat, salt, sweet tastes really good.
The reality is if you just get a plain peanut out of the shell as can be, it does not taste as good as the peanut butter you're whacking back, right? So right there, it's very highly processed, easy to overconsume. And peanut butter, in a way, it's little bit more protein content than none actually makes it even more delicious and easier to overeat, because peanut butter is a rare food where it contains all 3 macronutrients. Mm-hmm. So it contains some protein, it contains high fat, and it contains moderate amount of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So essentially, you combine all those 3 things. Like if you look at the most delicious foods and meals on the planet, they're a combination of all the macronutrients. So they're highly palatable, delicious.
Yeah,
Foods.
and it's not often you have something that just kind of has all of them naturally.
So and then because it is this almost single ingredient. Like we said, most peanut butter you're eating is not single ingredient. But even by itself, it's going to be more tasty in its plain state than most other foods.
Yeah.
So you got to be aware of that, right? Now let's look at some numbers, and just to give you an example. The problem is, so say, you're trying to meet, if you listen to our last episode on protein in a meal, and we know, hey, it can be beneficial to reach this threshold of, say, 20, 25 grams of protein. So, like, we'll take chicken breast. So, to have 20, 25 grams of protein from a chicken breast, you're also going to be having 3 grams of fat. So, total for that 25 grams of protein, calorie-wise, you're looking at 130, I think. Hold on, let me make sure.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, 130 calories.
So 100 from your protein, and then 30
from the little fat
from
that
your
comes
fat.
with it. So you see where if you're trying to lose weight, you obviously have to have a limit on your total intake. So, and you're trying to maybe get your protein, it helps you manage it better.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like, well, this peanut butter is high in protein, I'll get it from that.
And so you just start housing peanut butter.
Let's look at how many calories come with 25 grams of peanut butter protein.
So let's do, I got some Jiffy or Skippy creamy peanut butter. So 190 calories for 7 grams of protein.
Okay, so 7, 14, so times 3.
So that's 21.
570 calories.
Yeah.
So you see right there, 20 to 25 grams of protein from a chicken breast is going to cost you 130 calories. 20 to 25 grams of protein from peanut butter is going to cost you 570 calories.
Which is insane.
Yeah, that's quadruple.
And then
more than quadruple.
So now we're talking, 80 to 100 calories from protein, and then 500 calories almost from fat. Oh, and there's carbs too, from carbs and fat.
Yeah, and that's how easy it adds up, right? And then here's the thing: we haven't even talked about the food volume.
Yeah.
So then that 4 ounces of chicken breast is going to be this entire chicken breast on your plate.
It's a decent amount of food for anyone who's eating chicken breast.
It's a food that we typically put on a plate. The portion, we put it on the plate.
Yep.
And
we eat it for a meal.
We eat it kind of as a meal. Whereas peanut butter, we can stand and eat it visually. Like, there is no visual, because we don't put it on a plate. We kind of eat it out of the jar with the
Put it
spoon.
on a spoon.
So then in our mind, it feels like little teeny bites of this. We can do that anywhere with anything, right? When the reality is, you should be measuring it, knowing how much you're eating, knowing the cost towards your total daily intake.
Yep.
And then ideally you would put it all out at once, and then that's that, right?
Yep. So I think it can be a good bit of awareness or a wake-up call. I mean, wake-up call, but if you eat peanut butter often and you find yourself just kind of eating it out of the jar here and there, just get a scale, hopefully you have one, and measure out an actual portion on the scale and just see what that looks like.
And here's the thing, here's what happens a lot too. So here's the other problem. What's a typical serving of peanut butter? Is it 2 tablespoons or a tablespoon?
It's 2.
2 tablespoons. So then when people, you can kind of fib to yourself. You can eat 2 tablespoons. You grab your spoon out of the drawer, and then you eat 2 tablespoons. You dig into the peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
You eat that bite. You dig another spoonful into the peanut butter, and you eat that bite. Now, if you're guilty of this, go and now actually do what you normally do as a tablespoon and measure it out, your 2 tablespoons.
Mm-hmm.
And then measure the actual gram. I think a gram of 1 tablespoon is normally like 15 grams, right? You may have to pull up a label. You know how on the print.
Of peanut butter?
Yeah.
Let me see. Peanut butter. You can tell I don't weigh peanut butter. It's 32 grams.
Yeah, so 15 grams per tablespoon. So, yeah, so then go and measure your actual peanut butter consumption in grams and then visually measure 32 grams, which is a serving, which is like 200 calories.
Yeah, it's like 180 to 200, somewhere in there.
Yeah, prepared to be saddened.
Yeah. And so, and like with this, we're not saying don't eat peanut butter at all. Like, I think peanut butter tastes great. Just realize that it's really easy to overeat. It's not often measured just because it's easy to take straight out of the jar. And like we have a spoon, so in our head, like, oh, this spoonful is a tablespoon. When in reality, you just grab 3 tablespoons with 1 giant spoon.
Yeah, and you can easily eat 600 calories worth and feel like you didn't eat that much food.
Yeah, because it's not quite as voluminous as, something like a chicken breast. Imagine if you ate, we'll compare it, 500 calories of chicken breast versus 500 calories of peanut butter.
Yeah.
That's going to be a whole different feeling, because 500 calories of chicken breast is going to be, we'll call it, what? That's almost
that's going to be
a
almost
pound?
like 8. No.
4 ounces is
4 ounces
130.
well, maybe you're right. Yeah. No, that's about a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much lower than most other
a pound
meat.
of chicken breast is about 100 grams of protein, so that's going to be about 400. Yeah, 500. It's going to be a pound.
Yeah. So a whole pound of chicken versus how many servings did we say?
I think it'd be 3 servings of 6 tablespoons.
6 tablespoons of peanut butter versus an entire pound of chicken. Like, it's just way different volume.
So now, let's be team peanut butter. Where's its place, especially in a fat loss diet? So peanut butter is a fat food.
Yeah.
You don't want to treat it like a fat.
Definitely, it's a fat source.
And we do. We need some healthy fats, right? Most people, you want at least 40 grams a day, right? So, so you need some fats in your diet. So say you are eating a lot of really lean proteins like chicken breasts and egg whites. You need to add some fat to your diet. So then that's where peanut butter could come in, right? And like we said, 1 serving, about 200 calories. It's not high in protein. It's only 7 grams of protein. We're not even looking at that it's about 15 grams of fat, right? So you could have 2 servings of peanut butter a day, which would be 400 calories, and that would be where most of your fat would come from, right?
Yeah.
So then right there, say you're trying to eat 2,000 calories, cool. A quarter of your calories is going to come from the peanut butter.
Yeah.
That's why it's important too. You probably need to measure it, because like we said, you can, and there's pictures online, you can pull them up where like the difference, and it's almost not even a difference to the eye.
Yeah, visually it's not, especially because peanut butter is a brown blob.
Yeah.
It's hard to really see a difference in 2 different like piles of peanut butter.
Yeah. But it could be the difference of 200 or 300 calories.
Yeah.
So again, we emphasize, especially on like a weight loss diet, because we just see so many people. I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh, I'm struggling, I'm eating well, and I'm not seeing the loss. So we go in, look at stuff, and it's peanut butter, and they don't measure it.
Yeah.
Weigh it. And then when you have them weigh it, and then all of a sudden they start losing weight, right? Because again, it's small margins. You could be 200 calories away, and say you're at this one point, and the difference of 200 calories consistently over the course of then 3 weeks could literally be the difference of staying the same or losing 5 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
So that's where like the closer you get, the more this stuff matters. So then foods like peanut butter, you got to be more diligent with.
Yeah, I think kind of view them in the exact same light as you would like, cooking with oil, because it's just hard to really feel the impact.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late. So having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop, mixed in water, once a day, and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop, mixed in water, once a day, and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
In terms of like how much you're eating. But like they're both fat sources and they're both very dense calorie wise, and we just need to be diligent about measuring them when we do use them. Yeah, and something that might be useful. So say like you love peanut butter, but you find yourself like, hey, I do have a hard time just measuring. They sell little like individual cups that are about like maybe, I don't know, 150, 200 calories. Mm-hmm. And if you're somebody who maybe likes to, I don't know, cut up an apple and dip in peanut butter, which I know a lot of people like to do that, having a little like pre-packaged cup would be a really good, solid way to, you know, keep it in your diet because you clearly enjoy it. It's a decent fat source, and you're keeping that portion under control.
Yep.
So I would vote for that as a really good kind of foolproof way for you to do it, versus, you know, eyeballing it or, you know.
Look at this difference of, on the left is...
Oh, this is I wish you guys could see this.
It's 15 grams of peanut butter spread on a piece of bread. And then next to it is another piece of bread with 30 grams, so double the amount of peanut butter spread on it. So
it honestly looks just about the same.
Yeah, and the difference is that's 100 calories.
So spread on, I didn't even think about like on toast, because a lot of people eat like peanut butter on like whole grain toast or something.
Stick the knife in the jar and just kind of spread it on, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like this thin layer that's part of something else.
So it's not even like a blob of peanut butter on the scale. Now it's just spread out, so you can't even tell at all.
Yeah.
Dang, I hadn't even thought about that, but that's a really good point as well. So if you're somebody who does like peanut butter on a slice of toast, which can absolutely fit into, you know, your fat loss diet, you just have to be aware of how much you're using.
And if you want a simple takeaway, it's measure your peanut butter.
Yeah, that's it.
Get a scale and, do not just eat peanut butter out of the jar. Do not just use peanut butter as a condiment.
And also, peanut butter is not a protein source, not a good protein source. It's not one we want to lean on because it basically has double the fat that it does the protein, which is the opposite of what we want in a good protein source.
Honestly, ideally, you normally would want to look for And like we said, you can get away with equal, or did we say?
No, you said half.
Yeah, half. So that's going to be the 20 grams of protein, 10 grams of fat.
I would say
right?
that's the high end.
And peanut butter is the opposite.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah, so it's not even close to
it'd be
that.
10 grams of protein, 20 grams of fat.
Yeah.
And a perfect example, and we know this is just to show, I mean, it might be some people's reality, but if you want to know if food's a protein food or not, especially for a fat loss diet, if you ate only that food to get your protein, how many total calories you looking at, right? So if you only ate peanut butter and say you're trying to get 2,000 or we'll say 120 grams of protein,
Damn.
how many total calories is that?
I'm about to do peanut butter real quick. Let's find out. Peanut butter. Why don't you want to do chicken? I'll do peanut butter.
Yeah.
So this pager's really slow right now. There we go. Peanut butter. We'll do. Oh, we're not even close.
Gotcha.
Holy Jesus. We're saying 120 grams
Yep.
of protein?
Yep.
Oh my God.
So chicken breast, if you try to get all your protein from chicken breast, so 125 grams of protein from chicken breast would be 600 calories.
Are you ready? I don't think you are. 122 grams of protein from peanut butter. 3,248 calories. With a whopping 278 grams of fat.
Yeah.
That's just not good. Like, it's just not.
I mean, it's 3,000. Like no one.
Like, that's really nobody's daily calorie intake if you're,
Yeah.
especially if you're on a fat loss diet. So yeah, like that. If it doesn't
that's
pass that test,
It has to be. It can't be a staple
no.
source, right? And again, it should be a way to get your fats.
Yeah, and if it's like a little snack you enjoy that helps keep you on track, I think that's also valid. Just having the mindset shift away from, oh, this is a really great source of protein, so it's cool if I eat all of this peanut butter, and it just isn't doing you any good, in my opinion, when you're really just neglectfully eating it.
Yeah. This is also why it's harder when you're like vegan, vegetarian to lose weight or get to a certain leanness, because all your protein foods have to come from mostly actually carbohydrate foods.
Yeah.
And fat, something like peanut butter. So it takes more effort. It's a finer line to walk.
You have to really work at it.
If you look at, say, rice and beans, right? Like you're trying to get a meal.
Those are two carb sources.
So let's say you're trying to get 40, you're aiming for 120 grams of protein a day. You're eating 3 meals a day. You're trying to get 40 grams of protein a meal. And you have a meal of rice and beans, which combined will provide you all the amino acids you need. Separate, if you eat them alone, you're going to be missing some essential amino acids, but combined, rice and beans have them. So say...
So I'm looking at beans right now.
Beans, I guess you'd have like a cup maybe, or
I got a half cup.
nah, you'd have to
You wanna go full cup?
at least a cup. That's because that'd be 15 grams of protein.
Yeah, we'll go 2 servings. So
You're
all right,
probably gonna have to go more.
yeah. So 1 cup of beans, if we're mixing it with rice, then I guess we'll get
Well-
there. Is about rice is lower. 15 grams of protein for a cup of beans.
Yeah, it's probably gonna have to be 2 cups.
Let's see. 3.
2 cups gonna be tootin'.
Yeah.
And then for the rice, we'll even go brown rice. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
go
not gonna-
brown rice. I think we might be able to make it with a cup and a half of beans.
And so 100 grams raw is only 7 grams of protein, and 100 grams and 72 carbs. So
Yeah, and then beans for a cup and a half is 60 grams of carbs and then 22 grams of protein.
yeah, so I mean I have here, so it's still only 35, but I mean that. So yeah, it's 36 grams of protein. To get 36 grams of protein, You need 2 cups of beans, and this is black beans that I have.
That's
and
what I
then
have, yeah.
It'd be 100 grams raw weight, which would work out of brown rice, which would probably work out to about a cup and a half, 2 cups cooked of rice.
Which, like, that's a good amount of rice,
Food.
man. That's a pretty high amount of food.
So right there, to get 35 grams of protein, it would be 850 calories, and because there would also be 5 grams of fat and then 165 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
So then you see if you ate like that 3 times a day,
Like,
you
it's
would-
just,
you would end up with 2,500 calories and 90 to 100 grams of protein.
yeah. So it's just, it's tight. The margins are very tight.
Yeah. So then you see from a lot of people, especially if you're a smaller statured female, 2,500 calories can be.
That's just
you're
too
not
much.
So, and you barely hit the 100 grams of protein. So that's where you almost have to have supplements, or
Yeah.
you're gonna have to eat like tofu, or
What's tofu? We've looked at that before in terms of
corn.
nutrition.
I think tofu is normal, like close to meat.
So, nah, that can't be right.
Here's raw. I don't cooked, firm. Yeah, one. Yeah, I mean 1 block of tofu. That's 7.
Serving size.
Let's do ounces. Yeah. So similar to meat, like 7 ounces of tofu would be 24 grams of protein, 11 grams of fat.
Okay. So that would pass
Yeah.
the test of being a decent
Yeah.
protein source.
And then, so you could then almost eat like a template, like a meat eater, and just treat tofu like the meat
Yep.
portion. So if something says eat 5 ounces of chicken, have 5 ounces of tofu. And then there's corn. It's like QUORN.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant corn. I was like,
Yeah.
that is not
I'm
a protein
not sure
source,
exactly
Gary.
what it is. Maybe look it up, but I know. Yeah, so that's similar too, right? So
Yeah, let's see what this is. Corn.
So like 7 ounces of corn.
Corn is, it's made from a microfungus. Weird. So it's like a mushroom based,
But I think it's like
and it's fermented.
complete amino acids.
It is.
And that's around like, for 7-8 ounces, like 30 grams of protein and 6 grams of fat and 10 grams of carbs.
I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know if I've even heard of this. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
And it's fermented, which, like, fermented stuff is,
Yep.
good for people.
So that's going to make it a lot easier. But you see, so to not get too far away from peanut butter, but yeah, like when you're not eating meat, dairy, fish, these naturally leaner sources of protein, and you're trying to also keep your calories down, you just got to be more aware, more
You got to be more
conscious,
diligent on it.
when you're, because essentially, like, that's the thing. Peanut butter, like we said, is more fat food, and rice and beans are actually more carb foods each. They do have some protein, but yeah, then when you start to combine them and try to get all your protein from those kind of foods,
It adds up quick.
the calories get up there, right? So, yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah. So, yeah, those can all be a part of
think-
your diet. It can't be your protein source.
So could you imagine if you're not really being aware or tracking, and you're just like, well, the rice and beans has some protein, does, and let me even throw some globs of peanut butter on because it's a high, quote unquote, high protein food, and then the reality is you just have a
High carb, high fat, low protein diet.
yeah, exactly, and then you're like, why am I not losing weight? Right, I'm eating healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Because then, yeah, you think
These are
that.
healthy foods, but that's why.
Yeah. And then I think it's worth noting, I don't know how many people even fall for this, but you see some circles, people talk about how, I don't know, something like broccoli or greens have like all this great protein per weight, and it just shouldn't even be on your radar.
Yeah,
Like you would have to eat like 4 pounds of broccoli to even remotely get close to a certain number, and then how much of that is even like a good quality protein.
Yeah.
So don't fall for that either, where you see an article where someone's like, oh, well, this plant food actually is equal to this amount of beef protein, and it's not even close. So please don't look at like, especially like leafy fibrous things as anywhere near a source of protein.
yeah.
So I just had to say that because it's been weighing on my heart.
All right.
That's all.
So, and we'll leave you with a list here. I'm gonna pull up. I got it here somewhere.
You know what? While you're looking for that, I almost want to try this corn. Like, I'm
Yeah.
curious now.
I wonder. I mean, Whole Foods will probably have it
Yeah.
for sure.
Kroger has it. Target has it.
I wonder if it's like a blank slate and you can kind of like marinate it and grill it or what. So, and yeah, so with that, some good lean proteins are. So, you have your egg. I'll start from. You want me to start from the heaviest to the leanest?
Yeah.
So when I say heaviest, these are the ones that come with the most fat and or carbohydrates, but they're still relatively lean overall. So you have tofu, you have like a fatty fish like salmon, you have like your ground beef. You know, now obviously that can be scaled. You could have like 90-10 versus 96-4.
Yeah.
But you start basically 90-10 ground beef, leaner steaks, ground turkey, corn. So corn and tofu are going to be some good meatless vegan options. You have your fat-free Greek yogurt, turkey breast, chicken breast, white fish, shellfish, egg whites, and then protein powders.
Yeah.
So those are really, for the most part, when we say eat protein-based meals. So what is the protein portion of your meal? What is a lean protein? There you go.
Those are all of our top
Tofu,
picks there.
corn for our vegans. Then you got your salmon, your beef, your chicken, your turkey, your whitefish,
Scrump,
your Greek yogurt, and your shellfish, shrimp. Bing, bang, boom.
crabs, things
Plenty-
like that. Yeah.
Plenty of options. You need cottage cheese.
Ugh. You're never gonna hear
All
me
right,
talking
so-
about that.
Before we go, yeah, so the corn. First of all, how do you pronounce it? Because every time I say corn, I think of
It was same.
the band.
Corn.
It's spelled Quorn, right?
Yeah. And it seems like you can buy it like just ground, but then they have also like, chicken nuggets and sausages and all of this
Really-
stuff.
Yeah. It looks like meat. Kind
Yeah.
of.
So it looks like the one I saw was basically the I don't know, mushroom stuff, the fermented
It's high-
mushroom
it's high in fiber.
with egg whites. And so yeah, be careful. There might be egg whites in some of them, depending on which type you get. So just a word to people that are vegan. Yeah, here actually, let's clarify. Corn mince is made with rehydrated egg whites. So if you are vegan, like fully vegan, then it actually is not an option for you, which is kind of sad. Because I
that
like
just-
the nutrition profile.
Is that all the products?
Can't tell. I'd have to look at all of them to see.
No, they have vegan products.
Yeah.
The vegan. Vegan food. Here we go. Sea range. This stuff's tricky, man.
It is tricky. There's a lot of hoops to jump through for this. Like, let's see. Yeah, they have their vegan
Yeah.
food.
So
Yeah,
they
let's
have,
check it
like,
out.
Little diced pieces and fillets and
Chicken patties.
chicken nuggies.
Like, let's go diced chicken pieces, because that would be probably it's like little cubes of chicken, essentially, that you'd, I don't know, put on a salad or add a little sauce and some rice to. Yeah, 120 calories, 3 grams of fat. I wish it would tell me the protein. Let's see. So it is mycoprotein, which is 89%, which is cool because that's the majority of it is that mushroom protein. Potato protein, and then a couple other things, a little fiber. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly for like a processed vegan meat substitute, it seems to be one of the better ones. Versus eating like a Beyond Burger, which we know is just like pea protein and oil and
Yeah.
a bunch of additives. Yeah, I mean, 17 grams of protein, a little higher in carbs, 11 grams of carbs, minimal fat, 3 grams. I'm intrigued. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll pick myself up a pack of cubes.
There you go. Maybe we'll expand on it. We'll do an episode.
Yeah. little review, a good option for the folks that don't eat meat based.
So there you go. There's your lean proteins. Peanut butter is not part of it. Peanut
is
butter
not.
is a fat, though. You can definitely include it, but we would highly advise measuring your portions.
Yes, just keep it in check. That's all. And
That's
if you find those little packs help, I think you probably get them at every store. I think like Jif makes them, and probably most brands have the little dippers. So those might help you if you are trying to, keep yourself in line.
All right. We appreciate you for listening.
Yep, we'll catch you next time. As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.